Okay, second graders, here's your math lesson. This paper is called Expanded Form. So I want you to grab a piece of paper and take a moment. Let me get all the numbers in there, and you write these numbers down the side just like me. I'll give you a minute to do that. You can pause the video if you need to. Right, 769, 852. Just write them down. Leave a few lines in between. Okay. Let's look at 769 in expanded form. That means I'm going to stretch the number out, pull it apart into its individual parts. If you remember in class, we had a lot of discussion about every number has a place. It's called place value. And depending on what place it's in, that's the value of that number. Value is an important math term. So whatever is in this spot is called the ones. I could hear you saying ones through the video. Whatever is in this spot is called what? The tens. And whatever is in this spot is called the hundreds. Okay, so if we stretch this number out, I'm going to start with my highest value, which would be this 7. What spot or position is that 7 in? It's in the hundreds, so its value is 700. And then I put a plus sign. I'm going to add it to this number or digit. Digit is a better word. In the tens place, there 6 would be right here in the tens place, so its value is not just 6, it's 60. 6 tens is 60. Plus, what is the value of the 9 in the ones place? 9. Just 9 by itself. So maybe you remember in class we talked about the ones place when you're doing this expanded notation or form. The ones spot doesn't get any zeros. The tens place gets 1 0, and the hundreds has 2 zeros. That's going to be the formula. Let's do this one. 852. What's the value of this 8? 800 plus, what's the value of this 5? I'm going to put 1 0 with it. It's in the tens place. 50 plus 2. Okay, you write this number and do it in expanded form. I'll give you a second to do it before me. I don't want you to just copy my answers. I want you to do it, and then I'll write it after you. So this digit 1 is 100, plus this digit 2 is really 20, plus 7. Okay, do 670. Did you write 600? $70. And then even though the 0 is in the ones place, I still need to say plus 0 here. I still need to do plus 0 to show that I know that there is a number there. 0 is a number, it's a digit. And I want to show 3 sections here for the ones, the tens, and the hundreds. So you go ahead and do the rest, but for those of you that wanted harder math, some people messaged me that they wanted harder math. I wanted to show you something. In 3rd grade, you might be doing something like this. So 700, if I wanted to use multiplication, that would be those hundreds blocks. 7 of those hundreds blocks. 7 times 100, and you put them in parentheses like this. 7 times 100 would be 700. That's this value right here. This is the same, 700, and this has the same answer or value as that. And then I would add, how can I use multiplication to show 60? Remember we said it was groups, so 6 groups of those 10 sticks, 10, and put it in parentheses. That's using multiplication for this expanded form. Plus, how do I get the answer 9 in multiplication? 1 group of 9. I wrote that the other way than these, but you get the same answer. Oops, let me show you. 9 times 1 would be the same answer. So here I've done the same thing. I've done expanded form, but I've used multiplication to show that I can stretch it out. Can you do this one? How would you get 800, but how could we show that using multiplication? 8 groups of 100. These would be those big squares. Do you remember? Remember they had the ones on them. There was 100 on the big grids. 8 times 100, put that in parentheses, plus, how do we get to 50 in multiplication? 5 groups of 10. Put that in parentheses. Plus, how would we get 2? Those would just be the little cubes. 1 group of 2. 2 little cubes in a group. So we've used multiplication to stretch that out. I'll do one more, and then you can do the rest and show me a picture. So here is 100. That would be one of those blocks. Not blocks, they were flat. One of those squares. 1 times 100. Just one. One square was 100. Plus, this section right here is the tens place. 20 is the value. We need 2 of those 10 sticks. Plus, this number is 7. The value is 7. I would do 1 times 7. One group of 7. So here, boys and girls, this is harder math for those of you that wanted harder math. If you feel overwhelmed by this, don't do it. It will come up in 3rd grade, but some people wanted a challenge. But 100% a 2nd grader should be able to do what I did on the top here in plus. So either do it the 2nd grade way and do all of these numbers for me in expanded form using the plus symbol or addition symbol and write the value of each spot. And if you want a challenge, put in parentheses how you would get this same number in multiplication. Send me a picture.